Testing.
The echoes are the effects. Turn off the effects.
Om Shin Da De Sen Tin Wei Zi Hua Fei Ji Yi Che Zhong Shen Qin Zhan Miao Hua Ren Jiao Dao Wo Men如何了生脱死离苦乐乐殊真无生 Well the Sangha weekly virtue out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please send the wonderful Dharma will to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadando sucedoye alahadi samyao sambuddhoje.
Namo sadando sucedoye arahati samya sambuddhose.
Together. 无上
甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。
supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in a billion eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Master, Dharma Masters, and all good and wise friends, good evening, Amitabha. Today is September 30th, 2017, and we're going to continue to investigate the Sutra of the Buddha's teachings on infinite life. Jin-Fo Shr will be lecturing, and I will be helping to translate, maybe adding a few words here and there. But to begin our lecture, we were hoping to recite the Buddha's name a little bit, invoke the Buddha, invoke Amitabha Buddha. You can say to invite his presence here into the hall, invite his presence into our hearts and minds, or if you're in front of your computer, invite him into your computer, or at least into your room. So if we can, you can say, put our palms together, and people know how it goes. It's Namo Amitofo. Namo Amitofo, the Buddha of limitless life. So the idea is to be as single-minded, as unified with our hearts and minds as possible. Namo Amitofo. So if you would like, you can open your sutra text, be in front of you on the internet. I think you probably can find a PDF of this text. This is a ongoing working translation. You can say definitely can get feedback in terms of how to translate this in a way that relates to people better, is more accurate, is more clear. But right now we're still in the names. We're still in the very beginning. And I wasn't here last week, so which monk are we at this week?
我们今天讲仁者人性，上一次讲仁者义成，尊者义成。
So we've been going over each of the venerable great sages that are listed on page 1 and 2, left side Chinese, right side English. And so now we're going to be looking at kind-hearted, venerable kind-hearted Vakula. And so what we usually do is we actually recite the Chinese text together. So just to get the sutra sounds in our hearts and minds. We've been lecturing it quite often, so you probably got this text. I don't know if you got it memorized yet, but if you can join in, Jin-Fo Shr maybe can read it. You know, 你要先念还是大家一起念?
大家一起念。
Okay, so we can read it together. So if you can put their palms together, we can read. We're starting on the left side of the page. It says 我闻如是. You'll see the
大家一起念。
So we're starting from the sutra text, page left side. We're reading Chinese. People can learn Chinese if you're not good at your Chinese.
They have a pinyin there, so.
Yeah.
The first page. Okay, we need the palm together. 我们合掌。好 ，we reciting together. 我闻如是，一时佛住王舍城，其舍觉山中，以大比丘众12000人聚。 一切大圣，神通已达，其名曰：尊者了本际，尊者正愿，尊者正语，尊者大好，尊者仁贤，尊者离垢，尊者明文，尊者善食，尊者具足，尊者牛王。 尊者优婆罗迦舍，尊者迦叶迦舍，尊者那提迦舍，尊者摩诃迦舍，尊者舍利弗，尊者大目犍连，尊者结宾那，尊者大住，尊者大净智，尊者摩诃周那。 尊者满愿子，尊者离藏，尊者流贯，尊者坚福，尊者面王，尊者义成，尊者仁性，尊者迦乐，尊者善来，尊者罗云，尊者阿难，皆如是等，上首者也。Okay, 英文。
Now we can read the English together. We're starting on the right side. Thus I have heard. So together. Thus I have heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying in Vulture Peak Mountain, in the capital city of Magadha, together with 12,000 great bhikshus. All were great sages who had already attained spiritual powers. Their names are Venerable Realizing the Ultimate Origin, venerable right vows, venerable right speech, venerable great name, venerable benevolent goodness, venerable free of defilement, venerable renown, venerable reliable goodness, venerable completeness, venerable Lord of Cow, venerable Rubhva Kashyapena, venerable Gaya Kashyapa, venerable Nadi Kashyapa, venerable Maha Kashyapa, venerable Shariputra, venerable Mahamaggalyana, venerable Kapina, venerable great existing, venerable great pure aspiration, venerable Mahachunda, venerable son of complete in vows, venerable free of obstruction, venerable river, venerable mighty conqueror, venerable king of perfect appearance, venerable extraordinary vehicle, venerable kind-hearted, venerable joy and happiness, venerable welcome, venerable Rakula, and venerable Ananda. All of them were leaders among the assembly.
好，我们今天讲的这个尊者就是人性，人性它算 OK you can yeah
Palms, you can put palms down.
Yeah,
if you like.
Okay. Okay, and 他这位尊者他是算大布施，布施第一，所以讲布施，今天各位来参加法会，这个也就算一种法布施，也是因为你们用你们的身心来听法，来参加法会，来护持道场，这个就是一个布施，一个供养。
So tonight we're going to be talking about venerable kind-hearted. You'll see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bottom. In parentheses, venerable Vakula. Maybe for those who are coming here not that frequently, so this is the beginning of the sutra text, and we're going over all these people's names who are, it says in the beginning, great sages who have already attained spiritual powers. And Jin-Fo Shr has actually been going quite a bit of detail in each of these sages' life stories and describing what you could say what distinguishes them. I was thinking maybe an analogy would be if we were to, probably the closest thing we can have as an analogy is like sports teams. We go to like watch sports and then they list out all the star players and what they're good at, right? And so these venerables are really good in some kind of Dharma practice. And so tonight we're talking about Venerable Vakula, or Venerable Kind-Hearted. And Jin-Fo Shr just said he is actually the foremost in giving. He's really good at giving things away, of being generous. And tonight everyone coming here is actually an act of giving, because you're all here and you've given your time, your body, and your life to come to learn the Dharma. So that's an actual gift. It's actually an act of giving.
好，我们这个尊者人性，其实然后翻译是他的名字叫做施利楼，这个是翻成我们的汉文叫做施利楼，然后他因为也称他为仁吉，就是他非常仁爱吉祥，他算佛的弟子，非常仁慈，所以有这个名字叫做仁吉。
So this venerable's name also is in Sanskrit Vakula, and he has another name which is kind or benevolent and auspicious. But it's pointing to his kind heart, his heart of generosity. He's very humane, and he's a very, you could say, good person.
他算是种族，当时的印度种族是 刹帝利种族出生的。我们上一次也有讲过，印度有4个种族，这个刹帝利是算波罗门第一个，第二个就是刹帝利。
Okay, so he's actually born in the Kshetra class, I believe. And the Kshetra class is the ruling class. The Buddha was all born in the ruling class, the kind of the ruling warrior caste. In India, they have a caste system where there's different people are born into these different castes, and then that kind of defines their position in society. So the first caste is the Brahmins. They're like the priest caste. And the second one is the ruling class. And those are the Kshetras.
好，因为他非常乐善好施，然后救济贫穷，他的布施心是最大也最多，所以在当时的佛弟子里面，他是布施第一。
就是他没有很多东西，意思就他很贫穷。
没有，不是贫穷。
刚才说什么东西？
救济贫穷。
救济贫穷。
就是给贫穷的人救济他。
He specialized. He was really good at rescuing and helping those who are in want, who are poor, impoverished, because he was actually the foremost in giving. He was the best at giving things away.
这位尊者他算在佛陀的500弟子的一个经，他名字叫做500弟子自说本起经里面，他的第12品就是讲到这位尊者，所以他有20个偈颂，就我们今天就用他这个20个偈颂来介绍。其实这个500弟子自说本起的，他本起就是说他能够讲出他自己的一些的过去的一些故事，所以我们从这个里面来了解这位尊者。因为这个施利楼除了说讲布施以外，我也查了很久，都是只有查到这个有这个经，所以我们晚上用这个经来讲。
Okay, so there's a sutra which has 20 verses written by this venerable. It's in a sutra called 自说，就自己说，意思这样子。One's own personal, you could say one's own explanation of past experiences. So it's kind of sharing of one's personal experiences, sutra. And there's 500 disciples. And this venerable, kind-hearted, is featured in it, and he actually gives 20 verses. And so Jin-Fo Shr looked in many different places trying to find more information about him, but pretty much all he could find was these 20 verses, and also that he was the foremost in giving.
因为这一部经就是佛500弟子自说本起经它这个是一个龙王，叫做阿纽达龙王，他来发起这个他请佛世尊跟500弟子来用斋完以后，他们坐在莲花上来讲这个每一个人500个弟子来讲他们自己本身的一些事迹。
So how does this sutra arise? There was a dragon king. You can see our dragons they're kind of dark now. But you can see that we have dragons here. And so you can say a king of the dragons, a ruler of the dragons, invited the Buddha to a Dharma assembly. This dragon's name is Anuda, or maybe Anoda. Yeah. And invited the Buddha with 500 disciples to Dragon Palace to have the noon meal. And then afterwards they spoke Dharma. So they were sitting there on a lotus, and each disciple shared their own cultivation experience.
Yeah. 而且我们稍微提一下这个阿耨达龙王，他是住在这个昆仑山上，他这个他是一个非常有德行的菩萨，然后他这个龙宫在昆仑上的宫殿啊，他有能够看到五河的一个源头，就是五流分在流动的这个源头，而且这个宫殿啊，它有八位手，就等于是也类似八功德水一样的类似八位水池，然后上面也有七色的莲花，然后这个它这个水啊，只要人去喝了这个水，他就可以得到宿命通了。
说八味啊，味道的味。
八种味，就八功德水嘛，一样的。八味水，有八味，就是像这些都形容一个有相当的功德的一个水池。
Okay, so this dragon king is no ordinary dragon king. He's actually a bodhisattva, and he lives on a mountain, Kunlun Mountain, and he has a palace. And this palace, if you probably can imagine yourself on a mountain, you look out, you can actually see the source of 5 major rivers. So it's really high up, and it has a spectacular view. You can kind of see out and see this landscape, and there's these rivers that go through. And on this mountain, there's actually a water source that has. Yeah, in this palace, there's a water source or a water, maybe a pool or maybe an area that has, they say, 8 flavors of water. And Jin-Fo Shr says it's like the Amitabha Buddha Sutra. We talk about the 8 waters of merit and virtue. These waters have 8 virtues. And also within these waters, there's lotus flowers, which have 7 colors. So it's a pretty spectacular place if you can try to imagine it. And also what's special about this water is that if you drink this water, you realize the spiritual ability to see past lives. So that's an interesting place. If you just go and drink that water, you can actually open your
宿命
tong, your spiritual ability to see into the past, your past existences.
好，我们就开始讲他这个20个偈颂，然后我念偈颂，我会解释，然后你翻译我解释的就可以。
So Jin-Fo Shr will speak the verses and then I'll translate them.
他第一个偈颂就是悉波罗奈城迦摄佛尼梵基尾王乞他七宝藏甚大，意思是说这个很久古时候的迦摄佛的时候，有一个叫做波罗奈城的一个国王叫做基尾王，他建造一座七宝塔，很大的七宝塔。
So this verse talks about a long time ago when Kashyapa Buddha was in the world, there was a kingdom of Polonai, and there was a king named Jiwei, and he built a stupa of 7 treasures.
好，第二个偈颂就是尔时王首座有最大太子，我时为佛尊第一件刹住，意思是说我那时候是基为王的大太子，然后给这个迦摄佛世尊做了第一宝塔的这个柱子。
The pillar. 但是你说太子是 prince.
Yeah.
So he said at that time, I was actually the prince.
王太子，对。
The kind of the 大太子, like the eldest son, the eldest prince. And I helped build the first pillar,
Yeah.
right? 天上
宝塔的柱子。
Yeah. So So he, out of respect for the Buddha, the world honored one, he helped you could say build the first pillar.
Yeah.
We don't have really pillars in this building, but if you would see, there's like a a pillar here, and then you would see he kind of built the foundation, laying the foundation.
OK， 就然后以是功德故，世事所深处，在天上人间，祈福自然是。这个都寄送也都是有音律的，所以这个念起来就很顺。然后因为就是他的意思，就是因为由于造这个七宝塔的功德原因生生世世都生在天上或者是人间，所以这个就很有自然的这个福报来，就是很有很好的福报。
So because he did this meritorious deed of helping build the stupa of 7 treasures, in life after life, he was born in the heavens and also born in the human realm because of his blessings from helping with this project.
第4个是说，在所身处。以国胜殷富，财势不可计，常喜大布施。就是说，我每次所出生的国家国度里面，都非常富有，财宝使不清，用不完，常常欢喜来做大布施。
So he said, in every place I was born, the country and place was extremely wealthy, was extremely well off. Then we would have abundant resources, so they would never kind of be exhausted. And in these places, there was great joy in giving. There was a real joy in sharing one's wealth.
我以第5个寄送，我以500世会师无首席，给瞻众庶人尽自己犯智。就是说，我在这个500世中间呢，施惠给一般的众生，还有以及修道人，就是静智，就是修寂静打坐还有犯恨，就是修清净恨的人，就是来给他们来做大布施，来供养他们。
So he said, in 500 lives, I made offerings to the regular people, as well as those cultivating the way, those practitioners, making a great offering.
第6个就是缘一劫之恨，离爱欲无漏，清净欢喜心，供养500众。所以，因为他能够修这个正觉觉悟，离爱欲以及无漏，因为清净欢喜的心来供养500众，就是500的众生。
Okay, so he because because he was able to cultivate this practice of awakening, he was able to you could say be apart from desire and kind of emotional attachment, and not have any outflows. He was able to have a heart of purity and joy, and make offerings to 500. Those assembled were numbering about 500 people.
第7个，由是功德故，在此最后世，身世贵树种，应时口收言。就是说，由于我供养布施的功德，生世生在这个这一次就是生在珍贵的出家的种姓里面，能够来修行，这个算是最后一世，所以有这个机会来说我自己，介绍我自己。
So from this gift of giving, he was able to be born in a wealthy home. And now is his last, you could say last birth, because he's been cultivating, he's realized arhatship. So he's cultivated the spiritual path of the arhat to its completion. And so he says he's kind of finished, this is his last time. He's from his merit and goodness that he cultivated from before, he was able to be born in a wealthy house, and now he's cultivated to have liberate himself from suffering.
第8个就是家中另有宝，钱财及以物，我当以施于救赎诸贫穷。就是说我把家里所有的钱财宝物，我都拿出去布施给贫穷的人，来救济他们，来给他们能够平安满足他们的需要。
So he says, I've given my home away and all my valuables to those who are impoverished to help them out, hoping that they can be peaceful and happy.
第9个就是我以无厌倦、无厌备，救济众下类，福善见达报，其能有所惠。就是说我救济这些贫贱的人，都没有厌倦的给予，也不希望他们报答，也不想有什么恩惠。
So I helped these people who were impoverished, and I didn't have any, you say, regrets. I didn't have any wish for repayment, or even any wish for appreciation. He was free of all those things.
好，第10个家中闻五言，就是家里听到我说这样子的话，酬优用黄具，慈善护八方，如母习离去。就是因为可能这个就是他们听到我这样子的一个布施方法，他们非常的忧愁又害怕，所以很多都离开家庭，所以连我的那个养母啊，他们都离去了。
是他自己的家人。
这他们有些家人啊，后来他们还有讲到，因为他们这算大布施这样子。
所以他们怕他布施什么都不施走。So this is interesting line. It says, verse number 10, it says, so his family became actually very afraid because I guess he gave everything away. So a lot of them left the home and went to another place. I guess they were scared he'd probably give away all their stuff too.
所以第11个就是母以恩爱故，便即告我言：为天人魔鬼，何以言大吉？就是说，因为恩爱我的这个母亲，她告诉我说，为什么说这个大话，是为了天人或者是鬼神？
你说他说这句话，他说什么话？
对，因为刚才他讲不是所有的，所以很多人害怕。然后他母亲因为很爱他，恩爱的母亲就告诉他讲：你为什么讲这个大话？你是为了天人呢，或者是鬼神？
So he says he would want to kind of give 就是布施天下。
也没有不就是。
他说哪一句？布施。他说什么？哪一句？他怕他说哪一句 ？Well, okay, so in this, his mom, who really loved him a lot, who cared about him, says, "Why did you say?" I think he says something about how
就是布施啊，他把所有的都
that
要布施出去。
he's willing to give everything away. Says, why would you say this? Do you say this for the heavens or the gods or the people or for the spirits? Why do you say this? Why do you say such words?
好，下面我即时即起曰：我是人，非鬼，追是守命师，好意见慧人。就是说我即使那时候我就赶快来回答了母亲， 我是为人的，不是为那些鬼。然后我会尽我的生命来布施给人。
So his reply was, I did this on behalf of the people, not for the spirits. I want to exhaust my efforts in really helping others.
然后师母闻其言，永耀无所谓，然喜劝自知，知意守布施。就是说当时母亲听了我的所说的话以后，她非常的高兴，无所不为，然后也能够允许来我布施，然后也劝其他的人来一起布施。
So after my mom heard my words, she was extremely happy and didn't have any fear or trepidation, and so allowed me to give things away and really encourage others to give as well.
然后第14句，家中见属多，母乐供养我，为众所敬爱，见者莫不喜。就是说，因为他们算一个大家族，很有钱的，所以他们的家里面的眷属就亲戚就非常多，所以母亲都是命他们来供养，然后因为有这样子的一个供养我们一起供养，然后所以很多人看到我们都非常的欢喜。
So this whole family is extremely wealthy, and so their relatives, they all, I think, practice giving together. And so with all their offerings and kindness they showed to other people, and when other people saw their family, they were all very happy.
然后第15句，我尔时世身其家及兴事，原是诸祭祀，名我师利楼。就是说，因为我这一生我能够恰恰适当的生长在这个非常兴盛富裕的家庭，而且又有这个因缘来修道的一个的愿志敬志，就是能够修道的一个志愿，所以我的名字就人家就是叫我师利楼。
So in this life, I was able to be born in this affluent household, this wealthy household, and also cultivate the way and have the aspirations to really practice. And so that's why my name was Shrililo, or Vakula, or kind-hearted, because of all this background, which is very generous of heart.
对，因为这个师利楼的意思就是仁己或者是仁慈。
So his name means kind-hearted.
然后下面是以彼便布施，给足诸贫楼，得子等正觉，便守家为道。因为有以布施给诸贫穷的这个因缘，而且能够遇到佛陀，所以我能够来离开家里去修道去。
So because he was so 因为他布施，他就可以见到佛啊，是这样子。
对，因为他很多布施，他不就是布施国家布施珍重这些的因缘。
So because he was able to make a lot of offerings and give away a lot of gifts, he was able to meet the Buddha and cultivate the way, and be a monastic practicing under the Buddha.
然后下面是出生家姓氏，堕地能语言，是故好思虑，其名自然流。就是说我出生的时候就是出生走地，我就能够讲话，所以别人就叫我师利。这个师利的名号自然就流传开来了。
So when he was born, the moment he was born, he could actually speak, and so his name became Sili.
像这些
Just
都
Vakula
是
is Sili. I guess also kind of kind-hearted. I guess somehow related to his ability to speak when being born?
就是说一些他们这些都是再来人了，就是看他们以前修的这个大福报都是再来人，所以他们出生以后就开始可以讲话，所以就是叫做施力。
So these sages come, you could say, they're ready with a lot of practice and cultivation. So he was very special. The moment he was born, he was able to speak.
然后下面是身家无所贪，以不用恐惧，言信出家学神通一切具。就是说我出生以这个家庭，我都没有什么贪，就是没有贪念啊，也没有什么任何的这个恐惧的事情、害怕的事情。后来又能够有正信正法的来出家修学修道，所以就证得一切的神通，就很顺利的能够记住证到一切的神通。
So he said, I was born in this household and didn't have any thoughts of greed or have any fear or I wasn't afraid. And I had this opportunity to have, you could say, proper faith, proper trust in the Dharma, and then be able to then cultivate the way. And because of these causes and conditions, I was able to fulfill or have kind of complete accomplishment or realization of the various spiritual powers. So because of his purity of heart, he was able to really cultivate and attain all the spiritual abilities.
所以他这个记住一切神通，这个就是讲六通嘛，六通，所以就是天眼通、天耳通、宿命通、他心通，然后神智通、无漏通。
So he was complete in the spiritual powers, and usually there's 6 spiritual powers. I don't know if people know the spiritual powers. If you were to list them, Jin-Fo Shr just gave them in Chinese. But do people know the English? If you were, you can think of the, I don't know if you can think of superheroes, if you're going to kind of relate the powers to any superheroes. But one is, they say the celestial eye, the ability to see into the heavens, see, kind of, I think probably a word we would use in kind of English would be like something like clairvoyance, kind of those kind of people are kind of clairvoyant. They can see things that other people can't see. And then the other one is a celestial ear. And so where there's clairvoyance, which is seeing, there's probably clear audience. I don't know if that's a word. But ability to hear things that other people can't hear. Into the heavens, all over. So it's a very kind of a spiritual ability of hearing. The ability to see past lives. To know one's past lives. So you actually can see causes and conditions going all the way back in the past, like this Venerable was describing his past lives being very generous. So it's third. Fourth is the spiritual ability of, let's see, is there one about astral travel? So it's Su Ming Tong, Ta Xing Tong, ability to read thoughts, mind reader. So somebody can actually see what people are thinking. Sen Zu Tong. This one has kind of many spiritual abilities packaged into one. They sometimes call it the complete self-mastery of the Arhat, the complete spiritual powers of the Arhat, and they describe it as being able to fly into space, touch the moon and the sun, emit water water and fire from different parts of the body. So it's a very, you can say, spectacular spiritual ability. And the last one, which in Buddhism is actually the most important, is the spiritual power of having no outflows, meaning one has let go of all of one's greed, hatred, and delusion, any of the 3 poisons, any of the afflictions that causes rebirth in samsara, causes suffering and future suffering. one is completely freed of that. So that's called freedom of outflows.
好，在下面就是为国主所亲，大臣众人民都获衣食供，传恶诸所安。就是说，因为他布施给所有的东西给大臣人民啊，他们都能够获到衣服、食物、床具那一些，所以他们都能够很安定的。这个，所以我也给国王非常的给他们非常的钦佩我、亲近我。
钦佩就是赞叹他。
也有一点就是钦佩。
So because of his giving all the way from, you could say, like the prime ministers, from officials down to the ordinary common people, his gifts of clothing, of food, of bedding, all the things that help support someone's life, he really helped them, you could say, just because he was able to take care of them, they lived peaceful and happy lives. And even the king appreciated him and praised him and admired him.
Okay. 好，最后一句就是
This is the last verse, 20.
如是斯叉罗在比丘真中，以阿牛达持自收本所作，就是这样子。他以前就是讲过的，这个就是我施利罗在比丘真中，就是在所有的出家众中里面的这个阿牛达持，刚才讲过的，就是他们500分起的一个讲法的地方。所以在这个地方，然后我来说出我自己介绍我自己的一些事迹。
So this last verse is just essentially a recap, saying, so this is my story, that how I have my name and that I now speak in this place, in this kind of, in this dragon's palace. He's kind of giving this talk. So this is his verse, his 20 verses about his own life.
好，我们关于这一位尊者，目前大概就介绍到这里。然后下面，因为我们都是今天晚上就是在讲布施，所以在普贤恨愿品10大恨愿里面，第3恨愿就是说广修供养，这个也就是讲布施供养。那这个布施当中，当然是以法布施为最重要、为最大的，所以这个布施也有分财施、法施跟无畏施。
So this venerable's life is essentially kind of introduced. You know, this is what he has in the Tripitaka about him. But given that he's such his dharma door, you could say, was giving, his kind of specialty was giving, we can explore this teaching of giving together. And in Universal Worthy's Conduct and Samantha Bhadra's Practices and Vows chapter, the third practice of the 10 is that of extensively making offerings. And about making offerings, there's 3 kinds of offerings. One is the offering of wealth or material goods. Another is fearlessness or giving courage. And the third one is offering of Dharma. So I was thinking maybe just kind of doing a little bit of a recap of his life if we're going to move on. So I think a couple things that just is very interesting once we heard his life story was that he was always generous. So it describes him in the past life helping out with a project to make an offering to the Buddha or for a stupa. And then as he did that, he became very wealthy and blessed for many, many lives. But throughout those lives, he still practiced giving, so much so that he actually made his family nervous. He's too generous. And then, but in his sincerity of giving, he was able to move his mom, and then I guess move the rest of the family to also see his sincerity in giving. And the line that really struck me was when Jin-Fo Shr said when he helped the poor, he didn't have any regrets. He didn't want any, you could say, returns on it. And he didn't also want any appreciation. Right? I remember 最后你说他不要
对他不要这些
He didn't want any even 恩惠 is like appreciation. And so I think that's a really interesting line. It seems kind of like a passing comment, and Jin-Fo Shr is going to move into giving. I think those three things are very important markers for giving. To be honest, I think for myself, I don't feel I'm that great of a giver. You know, when I give something, I start having regrets. You know, maybe I could have used that myself, or maybe they're not going to really use it, or maybe, you know, start having regrets or like second thoughts, or there's a kind of expectation. Maybe now I gave them something, then I'm going to get something back in return. You know, kind of like tit for tat. Or there's they didn't really appreciate me. They just kind of took me for granted. And then there's a kind of unhappiness in the heart, you know. And so this venerable actually gave without any of those attachments. And so it's a very interesting to reflect on if we really want to take this venerable as a kind of role model, as somebody who's really good at giving, is that when we give without any attachments, as purely as possible. So in Buddhism, we actually talk about, we call it pure giving. And pure giving isn't to say that somehow it's you know, kind of so heavenly or kind of better, or, you know, I'm somehow like better than you or something. Actually, it's the purity in Buddhism means it's free of self, it's free of attachment. So when we really give with true purity of heart, it's actually giving with all those qualities that he described, that there's no attachment whatsoever. There's not even attachment to wanting to be appreciated, to want to be acknowledged. It's just given away. And I don't know if we ever have experiences of people giving to us in that way, but that's pretty transformative, I think, when we do experience something like that, when somebody just, out of the generosity of their heart, without any strings attached, just gives us something or helps us out. And there's something goes, wow, you know, something, it almost takes us out of the contractual world, you know, of I give you this, you give me that, where we're mostly operating in, and it's something like, whoa, you mean you gave that to me without any expectations? Now how do I even process that? How do I even make sense of that within my world, because that action doesn't fit into, you know, the way I set up my reality, which is about getting something or giving something and getting something back. You know, it kind of breaks that apart. And so I think the group that is really good at giving, and maybe when Jin-Fo Shr starts talking about it, is charity focus or service based. They're called service based now. I think they really specialize in giving. But on the story though, he keeps on, he convinces his mom, you know, that his giving is very pure. And so she's convinced and encourages other people. So their whole family becomes really good at giving. And because of that, he is able to live in a very wealthy household. In Buddhism, true wealth comes from giving. It's kind of counterintuitive in some certain ways, that it seemed like, well, if we really want to have a lot of wealth, then we try to accumulate as much as possible and hold on to it and accumulate it and so on and so forth. But actually that kind of stinginess of heart leads to more poverty. And I think if we look at it at a macro level, you know, if we look at it at a macro level, that makes sense for sure, because if everyone's really stingy and tries to just keep their own stuff, then more and more of the society becomes impoverished. There's more and more poverty on a macro level. On a maybe more micro level, the person's own existence. And then the question, well, what is poverty? And there's different ways of looking at it. But if somebody, so one level is just material, like do I have enough to live my life by, to survive? But the other is a certain sense is somebody's never satisfied, is always trying to protect and keep their stuff and worry that other people will steal it. There's a certain amount of poverty in that heart as well. It's a kind of a heart that is never really content. It's always a little bit afraid. So that's not real true wealth. And so if a person who's actually really willing to give, one in society on the macro level, then it kind of somehow equalizes the wealth in society, right? Somebody has a lot of wealth and it kind of shares it with other people. And everyone had that mentality, then everyone would have enough because everyone would be provided for if there were people saw them needing support. And at the same time, in the person's heart, their heart is that of abundance, that of sharing, not of stinginess and protection, but of fearlessness and giving away. Right? A lot of fear is worried about losing what we have. You know, I'm like, oh, somebody's going to steal my iPhone or something, or my computer, or my this or that. And that's where the fear comes from. But if you are willing to just give everything away, then there's not really any place to have any fear, because you're just willing to give stuff away. And then from there, he cultivated the way. So these seeds of giving, this practice of giving brought him all the way to meeting the Dharma and then to be able to cultivate. And clearly, I think if one has already practiced generosity at that level, then when one begins to practice the Tao, the way, or the Buddha Dharma, then one can come to success very quickly. And so he was able to accomplish the 6 spiritual powers and realize arhatship. And so I think if we really had the vision to see past lives, causes, and conditions, all the way to this life when he actually woke up, we could actually connect the dots to say, okay, so from these actions, he set in motion this process, which ultimately led to his liberation. You know, so that's, I think, very interesting to see as a kind of exemplar story of what it means to give. Okay.
所以其实这个整个他这个尊者的修行，也可以从布施来，然后出家。所以出家你就是要把所有的布施出去。所以出家像有财产的你都要布施。你像我们出家，我们都不可以有财产，连一个 cell phone 都不可以。所以我们在忘我生成出家的时候，都要做到彻底，要这样子才能够清净的修行。所以他这个全部布施出去，这个就是很好修行，也很容易能够证道的这个，因为清净，所以这个是很重要的一点。
So this venerable was able to give and then able to cultivate the way and leave home. And so when one leaves home, actually you can say, rather than say leave home, maybe you can say almost like give away the home. You don't hold on to anything. You don't have any property. You don't have any, personal possessions. And like at the 17,000 Buddhas, you didn't have a cell phone, or like your own kind of communication device, and you really just give away everything. And that way, one's practice is much more quote unquote pure. When I said pure a moment ago, was because it's pure because you don't have as many attachments. It's much easier to come to success in practice because you don't have all these things that are that you're attached to. So it's a very good practice is to give things away.
还有就是每一年的万佛宝忏，它这个每天都要做忏悔大回向。这个里面的讲到一些大菩萨的这个大布施，这个都是非常感动的。每次我像在墨水来讲，每次都非常能够读那一段，就是说那些大菩萨他布施不只是外财， 连内财都布施，这是没有外财，就是所有的财产都布施出去，国家什么那一些都布施出去，然后内财包括自己的头目、脑髓都可以布，所以这个是非常给你非常彻底的。他还叫说，希望我们所有的众生都能够向他们学习，这个是给我们非常非常好的一个很感人，也很我们一个方向，一个真正彻底的一个布施。
So in the 10,000 Buddhas repentance of the 10,000 Buddhas, every day we actually have transference at the end of the bowing in the afternoon. And in this transference, there's actually a list of bodhisattvas who are really selfless, who give away everything. And they not only give away their wealth, their external wealth, the things that they have, but also give away their internal wealth. Internal wealth is actually like parts of their body. They're able to give away their bodies. And so myself, as I read these in the ceremony, it's very moving. It really is moving to see the generosity of these bodhisattvas, that they're only just willing to give away like a country or their wealth, but they're also willing to give away their body, the things that living beings cherish the most. They're able to give away even their own heads or their brains or anything. They're willing to give it away, and they just wish that living beings would learn from them, would cultivate the way.
还有在讲布施里面，我们有讲到法布施，像我们仙公上人，他自己一个人来从大陆，然后来美国，这个一个人跑来这边弘法，这个就是一个法布施，所以这个他不计较一切，然后自己跑来，然后那个把佛法带来美国这边，然后天天讲法，这个就是很好的一个了解这个法的布施。所以他讲了一段时间以后，就有很多人来出家，西方人啊，甚至于东方男的、女的、比丘、比丘尼的。所以目前在美国、台湾、马来西亚、澳洲都有道场，所以这个是一个很好的一个法布施的，我们的仙公上人的一个给我们的一个很好的模范。
So another one is a gift of Dharma. And so within the gifts, the gift of Dharma is the most supreme. So Master Hua came from China to America. And you can say he came as a way to give the Dharma. He came to America and he spoke the Dharma every day. And he shared the Dharma with everyone. And because of his teachings, many people learned from him and cultivated with him. And many became monastics, both Western and Asian, both men and women. And they decided to cultivate under Venerable Master Hua. So that now there's actually many monasteries in Taiwan, in Malaysia, in Australia, here in America, all over. There's monasteries, like for instance, Hong Kong. And so these people learn the Dharma from Master Hua. So Master Hua, in this regard, shared the Dharma with people.
好，另外我们再讲一个，就是说我们人往往会碰到急难的时候，我们就是要来念南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，他有发这个无畏施来救难的这个愿，所以我看今天也是在念。普门品嘛，所以你普门品上面，它就有你极危的时候，他就来现无畏身来救护、来安慰，所以来安慰这个苦难者。所以观世音菩萨他有可以救七难、解三毒，还有应二求，这个 这个都是无畏布施的。
So, in terms of fearlessness, the gift of courage, oftentimes when there's disasters, natural disasters, I don't know if people were here for the earthquake in 1987. That's my add-on to, is it 87 or 89? 89, yeah, 89, right? There's a lot of fear when things happen that are seem to be way out of our control, and things don't seem to be, all the things that we were hoping to happen seems to be falling apart, and there can be a lot of fear. And so what we could do is recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name. She's actually specializes in the bestowing of fearlessness. She shows up and helps out. We just recited the Lotus Sutra today, the Universal Door chapter, and describes her ability to help living beings in various situations that are fearful. I think it says something like 7 disasters, the 3 difficulties, the 2 types of aspirations or wishes. There's things like, for instance, if you're going to get attacked by thieves, if you're going to be falling off a mountain, if you're in a fire, if you're drowning. And the last 2, if you have a lot of kind of evil spirits are going to attack you.
亡难，亡难就是说你，就是你碰到王法。
Oh yeah. So if you ended up
犯法
being you get imprisoned for breaking the law, and then you're now going to be like executed or punished, right? And then the 2 kind of things you can seek. This was actually, I think particularly in maybe now as well, but that if you don't have kids, I think there's oftentimes families are a little bit afraid because they don't think of, well, how about the future when I want the family to continue on, or somebody take care of me. Then there's a kind of maybe a fear, and so she's able to fulfill wishes. Oftentimes, Guanyin Bodhisattva is associated with the birth of children. If families want a boy or families want a girl, then they can ask Guanyin Bodhisattva, and Guanyin Bodhisattva bestows children. So she's often described as the kind of great compassionate bodhisattva who fulfills the wishes of living beings, but also removes their fear. Maybe as a note for that, because we recited Guanyin Bodhisattva today, and also with the Universal Door chapter. At least for myself, it took some time to make sense of the Universal Door chapter with Guanyin Bodhisattva's giving in that way, which is kind of like, I was thinking when I came to the Dharma about being a monastic and cultivating, I think, so why are we asking for kids? Why are we trying to get kind of like seeking something? It seems like we're not supposed to seek anything. But what I realized is, if we shift our view, not just, at least for me, not just from my own point of view and my expectations around cultivation, but from to an expansive heart of Guanyin Bodhisattva, which is trying to gather in all living beings, then her way of seeing living beings is very different. When a living being is really afraid or afflicted, sometimes it's very difficult for them to really have a heart to cultivate. But if they're able to assuage their fears, to give them, to be generous to them, like what Jin-Fo Shr was talking about, this venerable kind-hearted, by being generous to them and kind to them, they develop this affinity. And so when the time comes that they want to learn more, they want to change for the better, there's already this positive relationship that can be built on for the Dharma to go deep. And so I think Guanyin Bodhisattva, from bestowing fearlessness, is kind of planting the seeds, building the bridge so that she can ultimately teach the Dharma for people to wake up. So she kind of has, you can say, the long game in mind. I was just with Dharma Master Lion on the East Coast, and he was talking to me, and he says, these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they have the long game. They look long. They're not like short-sighted, like this life. They look like eon. They're like, they're looking into the far distant future. and seeing, well, how is this living being going to become a Buddha? And so they're able to help them seemingly, in this very immediate way, this is what we want. We want a kid, or we want this or that, or we're afraid of this or that. So they take that away. But then in the end game, this seed helps us ultimately become liberated, ultimately allows us to, you could say, perfect our humanity and help others. So that's, I think, the Guanyin Bodhisattva's skillful means. Yeah?
好，还有布施的方式，就是说，我们布施僧团的力量，比布施个人，像包括法师或者是一些和尚或者怎样子，僧团的力量非常大，就是比僧。在佛陀时代有一个故事，就是他的姨母就是养母要布施一件衣服给佛陀，那佛陀他说你去布施僧团，布施僧团，那阿难就觉得是不是人家要布施给你，你为什么要说布施给僧团？那佛陀讲说，你布施给僧团，也就是等于布施给我，因为我是僧团的一份子，然后我是在僧的数目的，算是僧的数目里面，所以这个
僧的数目里面，
所以这个就是一个很因为由于这个布施，所以在布施里面，布施给个人，包括佛陀个人，都布施给僧团比个人还要好，所以佛陀讲过这样子的话。
So another aspect of giving is, let's say, making offerings to the sangha. People know that the sangha is often considered the field of blessings. If you look at the precept sash, it's actually kind of like crisscross. There's a line across. It's essentially one short strip and one long strip. And it's actually modeled on the paddy fields, the rice fields in India. And so the idea is that people can plant goodness in this kind of sash, which is kind of representing the Buddha's sangha. And by doing that, one's growing goodness, you could say, a field of blessings, growing in blessings and merit. And so within the Buddhist tradition, there is this practice of making offerings to the sangha. But in addition to that, the Buddha also teaches not to, not say not to, but rather that the goodness that's created from making an offering to the sangha as a whole is greater than making one to just one monastic, even if that monastic is really accomplished. And so there's a story in the Buddha's time that a person wanted to make an offering of clothing to, I think, the Buddha. But the Buddha told the person, well, actually, you can make the offering to the sangha as a whole. Venerable Nanda asked the Buddha, well, how come you did that? They want to make an offering to you, but then you asked them to make an offering to the sangha. And the Buddha said, well, I'm actually a member of the sangha, so their offering to the sangha is actually also an offering to me. He's included within it. But the principle is essentially that an offering that's, you could say, impartial, made to the sangha, you're essentially making an offering to the sangha of the 10 directions. You're making a kind of a good planting of blessings in this vast field of merit. Well, if it's just for one person, then it's just to one person. It's not really got that expansive quality of the sangha of the 10 directions. So in the Buddhist tradition, there's a lot of emphasis not to make offerings just to one monk or one nun or one monastic. It also makes sense because in some ways, if then people just kind of just supported their favorite monk, and all the other monks might not have any food to eat. So I think the Buddha was very practical. But I think Jin-Fo Shr a couple of weeks ago talked about Venerable Pindola, who was over there in the box, about how he went for the bowl on the top of the pole, the jeweled bowl, where he showed off his spiritual abilities and spiritual powers, and the Buddha kind of chastised him for not doing that, because one of the reasons was because if he does that, then the lay people go, oh wow, you're so wonderful, you're so great, we'll make more offerings to you. Then they neglect the Sangha as a whole. And so the idea is that when we make offerings, we try to make it to the Sangha as a whole. So it's not like I have that person I really like, so I'm going to make offerings to them. It's okay, I'm just make it with an equal level mind without any attachments. And by doing that, that creates tremendous goodness. Yeah.
OK， 我们下面我们再讲一个，就是法纪经里面，有一位这也是讲布施，有一位他这个国王哈，叫做婆罗门国王，他要忽然间他想做善事，所以他把所有的这个七宝全部都拿出来，然后给来布施给人家，人家要的就给人家，但是他布施了好几天，都好像没有减少一些，就是没有人来拿这些珍宝。
So there's a story about giving. There was a king named Boloman, and he wanted to do good. So he took out all his treasures, the 7 jewels and other things, and he wanted to give to other people. And so people could take whatever they wished for, whatever they wanted. So he put it out and did this for many days, but his possessions did not decrease, his wealth did not decrease at all. 就人没有来拿，没有来，
还没有人来拿，
no one came to get his stuff. So none of his stuff disappeared.
没有人来拿。然后那个佛陀知道这一位国王呢，这个福分，然后他知道度化他的时间到了，所以他就把这个佛陀就变成一个犯事，就是修犯恨的人，然后去到那个国王那里，然后见了他就那个国王就是说你要什么东西你就告诉我，你不要客气，你就尽量拿好了。
So the Buddha, you could say, with his kind of spiritual abilities, saw that this king was ready to be taught. His situation, his causes and conditions have ripened so that he would be somebody who could be crossed over. And so he went to the Buddha and he manifested as a cultivator, a person who practiced the holy life called the brahmacharya. He's somebody who cultivated pure practices and went to the king. And the king said to him, you know, you can take whatever you wish. Whatever you want, you can have it.
然后这个范子就说，我想要一些珍宝，然后拿去盖一些房子。那这个国王说好啊，那你就自己去拿去吧。
So the Buddha manifesting as this pure practitioner said, well, I would like to have these treasures to go and build a house. So the king said, no problem, you can take whatever you wish.
然后他拿了一些珍宝以后，他走了7步，又回来，又把珍宝又放回去。那个国王问他：“你为什么不拿？然后那个又把东西放回去呢？”
So the Buddha, as a practitioner, took some treasures and left. But then, as he was just after taking 7 steps, he then turned around and put those treasures back. Now the king was surprised. Why did you return these treasures? Why didn't you take them?
所以那个凡是又 就又跟他讲，我想要娶太太，所以我想要多一点。那国王说好，没关系，你就尽量拿吧，你就再拿多一点。然后那个他就拿了，又走了。
So this practitioner said, well, I thought, well, I want to actually get married and have a wife, so I need more stuff, I need more treasures. And so the king said, no problem, take what you want. And so he took some more and left.
那个凡是他拿了以后，又走了7步以后，又把东西拿回来，又放回去。那国王他说你为什么又要不要呢？这些珍宝是不是不够的话，你再拿吧，就这样子。
So again, the practitioner left, and then after a little bit came back and put those items back. And the king again said, "What? Why are you putting them back? Are they not enough? Do you want to take more? Go ahead, take more if you wish."
他又跟那个国王讲说：“对啊，我有建了房子，然后娶了妻子，我还要有田地，所以我要更多的。”那国王说：“那这样子的，把所有东西都拿回去好了。”所有的珍宝都拿回去。
So the practitioner said, yeah, exactly. I thought about it, and I need to build a house, but then you get married, but I need to buy land too. I want to have a land to be able to grow crops, and so I need more wealth, more treasures. And so the king said, okay, no problem. Just take everything. Just take all of it. Just take it all with you.
但是这个凡是最后他什么东西也没有拿，又把东西放回去，所以这个国王就觉得这个人很怪异。
怪啊，就是怪。
就是很奇怪的。
Okay, yeah. So then he tried to take everything, but then after a little bit he put them all back again. And so the king said, "Gosh, this guy's really strange. He keeps taking his stuff and then putting it back."
所以这个范志就跟他说，跟他也是等于说法，就说我本来就是以乞食为生，但是想到人命很短暂。万物无常，所以就是说，即使有这个财宝如山，也没有什么对我也没有什么用处。所以如果贪心不足的话，就很容易就陷入自找苦吃。所以我干脆就全部都不要了。所以到目前为止，我不要这些珍宝。
So he then said to the king, I took all your stuff and I was going, and but I thought to myself that nothing is for sure. We all have to be. Everything is impermanent. One day, I'm going to die and pass away, and so what is going to be the use of all this wealth for me? There's no use. A mind that's greedy and constantly discontent really just ends up in a lot of suffering. So I had that thought, and I thought, well, this treasures, this is not really anything I really want. This is not really helpful. And so I returned it all.
所以国王他讲了这些话，国王也听了，也最后他也领悟到这个人就前面的这个范志的一个。来跟他讲话的这个意思，所以然后这时候这个范志就是佛陀，他就现金光瑞相，然后升到空中，然后给国王说了寄送。
So then the king heard that teaching and had a bit of an awakening, and saw how there was impermanence. And then the Buddha. That practitioner manifested as the Buddha. So the Buddha was kind of, you could say, I don't think the word masquerading, but he was transforming himself into a kind of a practitioner, so that the king didn't really see who he really was. But then the Buddha at this point changed back into a Buddha, or showed his actual a Buddha form and emitted radiance and flew into the space, into the sky. So he showed a lot of spiritual abilities.
所以讲的偈颂就是难得积珍宝，从高至倚天，如是满世间，不如见道机。就是说像这些珍宝，你积着再多，像天那么高，然后也满世间，然后还不如你去修道。
So then the Buddha spoke a verse. He said, "You can have treasures that fill the world like a mountain that reaches up into the sky. However, this is nothing compared to cultivating the way. Why don't you just go and cultivate the way?"
所以这个当时的国王看到这个佛陀的瑞相，然后也非常听了他这个偈颂，也非常欢喜，也跟国王跟的大臣也都受了这个五戒，所以他们也证到了佛法的出国。
So the king saw the Buddha manifesting his spiritual powers and heard this verse and was very happy. And so him and his officials took the 5 precepts. They were all very happy and resolved to take the 5 precepts. And he realized the fruition or the realization of Shotapana, the first stage of arhatship.
OK， 我们还有一些时间，我们还在讲一个穆建连的故事。
Another story.
OK， 这个是在法华经法纪经不是法纪经里面。法纪经第17品里面。
In the chapter 17.
就是说有一天那个穆建连他飞到天上去，就看到很多天神在那里很安逸，在那里很愉快的在那里游玩。穆建连就请他们，你究竟做了什么善事，能够升到这个天界来享乐？
So this story is about Mahamoggaliyana, who was one of the venerables we just listed. And so one day, he's actually the foremost in spiritual abilities. So this nice lecture has a lot of spiritual abilities. So he could hit all the 6 spiritual abilities, and he was the foremost in them. So he actually went into the heavens, and he saw the heavenly spirits, and he saw them being really peaceful and happy, enjoying their lives. So he asked them, "What good did you do in the past that allows you to have this kind of life now?"
所以他们天神里面就一个就回答说：“我所以能够往生这个天上，是因为我就是实话实说，实话实说，实话实说，就是说真话。
说真话 OK
不说假话。
So one spirit told him, "I'm here in this heaven because I spoke true words. What I 实话实说 I spoke truly and I spoke true words."
另外又有问到一个女神，就是女天神，然后她就说：“我以前是当佣人，然后她的主人打她，她都不生气，骂她，她也不跟她理她，也没有一点嗔恨心，所以也没有发过脾气，所以这样子她升到天上。”
So another one, this one was actually a female spirit, and she said that in the past she actually was a servant, and she, but when she was serving, the master was actually really abusive, and he really did things that would scold her or be mean to her, and she would never get angry, and she would always be patient and not have any hatred inside. Also because of those blessings, she was reborn in the heavens.
所以 后来他又问到其他的天神，那就说我用我自己的能力范围之下，我为他人的利益来做布施，这个就是我升到天上的原因。
就是他布置什么？
他用他自己的能力去帮助人家。
So another spirit said, I used the best of my ability, my own strength, to go and help other people, really considering their needs first, considering what they really needed.
所以就是这样子。那大目犍连他听到完以后就回来，就在佛陀的地方就问佛陀说：一个人啊，他说一个人只要说实话，还有不发脾气，不嗔恨，然后做少许的功德来利益他人，就能够升到天上吗？因为他有去问过，说每个人都讲他的这个升天上的，所以他讲了这个刚才讲了3个这个事情，就能够升到天上吗？他问佛陀。
So Mahamagdhyana went back to the Buddha and asked the question. He said, well, is it the case that you could just say true words, or you can just not get angry, or you can just help other people, even if it's just a little bit, that can give you the blessings to be able to born in the heavens? Is that the case? It's kind of those people or those beings that was just mentioned before. One didn't get angry at all, one was able to give away a little bit here and there. And so he had questions about this.
所以佛陀就跟他回答说：你不是亲眼去看到这一些天人跟你讲话吗？你亲眼看到，也亲耳听到了，所以你不应该有怀疑。即使说布施少量的功德，也能够使人往生天上。
So the Buddha said, didn't you see that with your own eyes and hear it with your own ears? Why do you have doubts about this? Why do you have questions about this? It's the case that a person just needs to give a small amount and they can be reborn in the heavens.
好，我想
到这里。
到这里，我想一样的，我们布施今天晚上都是讲布施，当然能够尽自己的能力布施，这个是很重要。然后像我们认真修行，也是一种布施。尤其是我还是要讲我们念佛，因为你坐在这里念佛，你就是身体布施，然后你这个最重要。我们布施就是要能够以后能够成佛。那念佛以认真的念佛，就是能够成佛，这个是一个最大的布施。
So tonight we talk about giving. So we want to all try our best to give where we can, and actually practicing the Dharma vigorously is actually a form of giving as well. Especially, for instance, reciting the Buddha's name. For us to recite Amitabha Buddha's name, it's by doing that, we're actually making a gift of our body as we recite, and our mouth, and we recite because we want to become a Buddha. And becoming a Buddha actually is a tremendous act of gift, a tremendous gift. So it's a really good gift.
好，希望我们所有的一样的佛弟子，我们就一起精进的念佛，
So I hope all of us Buddhist disciples can vigorously recite the Buddha's name.
精进修行一样的，就是听法，然后护持道场、供养，这些都是非常好的一个修行。所以希望大家能够早日成佛道。
So we can do good deeds, make offerings to the temple, build them, help support the monastery, practice the way, be generous, recite the Buddha's name, so we can all cultivate vigorously and all together realize Buddhahood. And so that's my wish for you all.
OK， 好
Okay.
有没有
So
现在有没有
any
什么事？
questions or things online? No?
没有。
I could just make a comment. So I think listening to Jin-Fo Shr just talk about Mahamoggallana asking the Buddha about giving, it immediately brought to mind something that about giving that's described in the Earth-Store Sutra. The Earth-Store Sutra talks about giving and the results of giving. And there's a section called, I think, called Comparative Merits of Giving. And so, some I'm not sure if it was a ghost spirit or a being asked, I think Earth-Store Bodhisattva or the Buddha, that why is it that some people offer something and by making that simple offering, some receive a tremendous reward and some just receive a little reward. And the response is because of the attitude one uses to give. If one uses an attitude that's completely selfless and unattached, then the benefits that come from that are, you could say, equal in scope in this kind of vast, unbound, limitless mind. If our minds are very small, like we're describing, we're giving because we want some small reward, like we want that person to like us, or we want something else for what we're doing, then the reward we get is very small. Not to say it's bad, it's just to say that the causation, what happens in terms of our own spiritual well-being or our spiritual development and the effect into the causation of the universe is different. And so although we can make the act, it could be the very same act. One person gives, $100 to one person, another person gives the same amount to another person. But because of the heart that's used to give, it actually makes the gift really different. So that's the ultimate spirit within the Dharma, is that it doesn't mean that we have to give a lot. It doesn't mean we have to sometimes we say, well, what can I give? But the spirit in the Dharma is, if we can cultivate a heart that's generous and sincere, then that's really the place of being able to, I don't know if to say maximize the merit, because we don't want to have that heart of wanting to, quote unquote, maximize things. But just to say, if we want to be skillful with causation, skillful with the way things are, then the more and more expansive we can make the mind, the more we're able to tap into the vastness of the Buddha Dharma, the vastness of the goodness that's available. So I think what's really interesting in the Dharma, you actually get a lot of teachings on how to be good, which we usually don't get in society. Usually it's how to get some kind of benefit, So if we talk about generosity in society, sometimes generosity is in the context of because of the benefits that we get in return. And not too often, unless you maybe go to a service space or to something that's kind of more spiritual, that we start talking about giving in an unconditional way, in a way that there's no strings attached. So, okay, so wish everyone could have a generous heart. Oh, a question?
So the question is, thank you for the definition of the freedom from outflows. I used to understand it to be more to encompass freedom from karma. Is my previous understanding too general or simplistic?
You said freedom from karma? That's a very interesting idea. I don't know what he means by freedom from karma, meaning that they're no longer subject to karma, or that they're a master of karma. There's a very famous story that talks about this one. There's a story of an old cultivator meeting a kind of, I don't know, what do we say, another person, and this person came to him asking a question, and he said, I have a question about cultivation. He says, are sages free of karma? Are they beyond karma? And so the old cultivator asked him, so, well, how come you're asking this question? Well, he said, actually, in the past, I was also a cultivator. I was, I think he was a monastic, and right. I'm not done the story yet. So he said, yeah, I was asked this question about are sages beyond cause and effect, and I said, yes, they're beyond cause and effect. But because of that misstatement, I was born for this. In the story says, I think 500 lives as a fox. 500 lives as a fox, right? And so I'm not sure. So what is it? What's the right answer? And so this other teacher, this old cultivator, told this. This was actually the fox who's manifesting as a person. In Buddhist stories, the fox can kind of transform. And so he said, actually, what you said wasn't quite right. It's not that the sages are beyond cause and effect. It's that they don't make a mistake in cause and effect. I don't know how they say in Chinese. So 不是不没有因果，是不错因果，对不对？Yeah, that's a story. So it's not about that they are outside of cause and effect, but that they are so skillful, they know how to engage cause and effect in the most skillful way. And so, 不多因果跟不错因果. Okay? So in that story, what happens is then the fox learns about this, then goes off to rebirth. Now he has the proper, he learned what was the proper teaching. But this points to some, I think, very important principle, which is, so freedom from outflows is often associated with the realization of arhatship, a freedom from affliction, freedom from suffering, no longer caught in the cycle of samsara. And so when you say free of karma, you have to be careful not to say that they're somehow outside of karma. They're still within cause and effect, but when they act, they're no longer acting in ways that is putting seeds back into the samsaric cycle. The Buddha actually talks about different kinds of karma. He said there's bright karma and there's dark karma, and there's karma that's neither dark nor bright. And so a lot of us, or people, sometimes create bad karma, dark karma, things that we do, and then the results of those are painful and harmful, right? And then there's bright karma, which is we go out and do things, and those actions lead to goodness. Intentional actions that lead to goodness, leads to happiness and freedom. But the Buddha and the Arhat disciples, they actually create karma that's neither bright nor dark, which is actually even quote unquote better than bright karma. It's beyond even the limitations of good and evil. It goes beyond. It's actually, they act just skillfully in accordance to how things are. They don't have to, they're not replanting seeds in samsara. Because even good, if we do goodness, do something good with kind of conditions around it, like for instance, we just talked about the gods, right? So if we do a lot of good deeds and we think, well, I want to be able to go to the heavens in the future, then that's bright karma, but there's a little bit of an attachment. So we end up in the heavens. But if we can make our mind unconditioned, as much as possible for true liberation, then that karma has a little bit of an element of neither dark nor bright. It's actually karma that transcends samsara. So that's what the Buddha and the Arhat disciples cultivate. They're able to use karma skillfully to transcend. Yeah. Okay. It was a form of, he thought it was a form of emptiness, freedom of outflow. Yeah, okay, I won't go into too much detail, but we have to be very careful within Buddhism, even around the word emptiness. It doesn't mean like and nothing, like nothingness, like everything is, nothing exists. So emptiness is a little problematic in Buddhism in the West, is because if you think of emptiness as kind of like nothing exists, like almost kind of like nihilism. Well, in Buddhism, emptiness is actually very interesting. We say true emptiness is wonderful existence. Somehow everything opens up from this realization of emptiness. And so this emptiness is less about saying that nothing exists, but saying that actually there's nothing lacking. I think Marty likes to say there's nothing lacking, where our Buddha nature is complete unto itself, and we go out and attach to things, thinking that there's something there, but actually they're empty. Like money, for instance, we talk about wealth today quite a bit. That wealth is empty because it's impermanent. It's not something that we can really rely on. But it's not to say that it's like it doesn't exist. It's like, well, this, it doesn't exist. It's just something we've created in our mind, like dollar bills are something that society's created. It's conditioned reality. But so we don't want to move into a space where emptiness somehow means that there's nothing and then there's no cause and effect. And then what then ends up going into is a kind of a moral relativism where good and bad are kind of like no longer important. So in Buddhism, actually what's really interesting is when I just talked about the karma, is that Buddhism describes good karma and describes there's bad karma, and there's actually describes a way to act that will lead to liberation from both good and bad, from even the categories of good and bad, right? The sixth patriarch, when great master or Dharma master Huiming asked him, people know the story, Dharma master Huiming was chasing after the sixth patriarch to the robe and bowl. This is the famous story, and then the sixth patriarch teaches him, and he says, before the thought of good and evil, what was the Venerable's original phase, right? And so in Buddhism, there's actually good and evil are categories that we create, but we need to use those categories skillfully in the beginning to get out of the confusion we're in. But in the end, true freedom is still being free of those categories of good and evil. But it means that we actually effortlessly act in good ways. The Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and the Arhants, they act skillfully in cause and conditions, but without any need to reference like, okay, this is quote unquote a good act, therefore I'm going to do it. They just act skillfully and appropriately to what's going on. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's it for this evening. Happy everyone came to join us. We have our transference of merit, which is another act of opportunity to give. Here, dedication of merit here, on the back of your sheet. And so wherever you would like to send the goodness, however large you want to make your mind, that's how far it goes. So if you can put your palms together. Oh yeah, next week Reverend Heng Sure will be back. He'll be back from Europe with our delegation, so I'm sure there will be many stories, and a lot more people will be back, because I think he had something like 50 people go with him to Europe, so a big group. Okay, and okay, then this Tuesday, the Bayagiri monks will be coming, so people want to come and listen to the Bayagiri monks. I think Ajahn Pasno is actually coming down, so if people would like to come down, please come listen to the Dharma talks. Okay. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. Bow to the Buddhas. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Nam